Hello, everyone. What's going on? We're officially live. I'm joined here with Riley Martins. And before we give the whole intro, I know we're just going to let some people get in here. But if you're somebody who's watching this in the future, meaning you weren't here live, you can definitely, fast forward a few minutes just so we get to the meat and potatoes of this. But yeah, if anyone's joining us here, I'm live on the Book My channel, also on my YouTube channel. Feel free to, say hi in the comments. But like I mentioned, I'm here with Riley Martins. What's going on, man?
Hey, not too much. Just hanging out.
I know behind you is a special place. So what's so special about where you're at? This isn't like a fake backdrop. Well,
It's
what's
not a
what's
fake.
behind you?
It's not a fake backdrop. No, this is my bookstore.
Wow.
This is my brick and mortar.
Yeah. So one thing that's really exciting about Riley Martins is that had the privilege of meeting Riley last year at Books and Beyond, and I got to learn that hey, unlike me and Victor and most of the people who are at Books and Beyond who are online booksellers, he actually owns a physical storefront, and which to me was kind of just mind blowing. We got Mark in the house going, "Is this live? This is definitely live. What's going on, Mark?" Yeah, this is absolutely live. So what's going on, man? But yeah, like I mentioned at Books and Beyond, I was able to meet Riley and learn that he has a physical bookstore, which is just awesome. So,
Mhm.
um, yeah, just a little bit of background before we get into some questions here. And again, if anyone has questions watching this, this is your opportunity to ask Riley some questions. But basically, Riley owns a physical bookstore. It's called Forest Books and Media. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Forest Books and Media. So he sells both books. He sells like CDs, DVDs, video games, so a bunch of other kinds of media.
Hmm.
Also sells online, I believe, as well, right? You're mixed.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we do eBay and Amazon as well.
And you're based out of Canada, so you're not even in the United States. So very cool just to see a different perspective as well, selling in different countries. So what's exciting is Riley is actually going to be a panel speaker this year at Books and Beyond. So really excited again to have you there. I think you're going to offer definitely a unique perspective because not very many people have a physical storefront. So,
Mhm.
anyways, welcome to the channel, man. Anything you enjoyed particularly about Books and Beyond last year?
I really enjoyed the after parties and just getting to talk to people and like it's the conversations more so. And I thought it was like I grew up listening to Reezy Resell, so to see him
Yeah.
speaking live, like that was pretty cool.
Yeah, and Reese's actually coming back as well. So Reese will be a speaker again this year,
Nice.
and you
It's
guys
gonna
will,
be good.
yeah, definitely get hit off as well. But I agree. I also kind of grew up watching Reese, so a lot of fun there. We have Mark saying, "Hope we all had a great summer." Yeah, I'm curious. Actually, is it seasonal for you guys at the bookstore in terms of like traffic? Like, do you guys have a lot more traffic during specific times of the year?
Yeah, it's kind of the same as Amazon. Like it picks up like towards the end of summer and then it goes strong till Christmas kind of thing.
Okay, okay, that's pretty cool. All right, so right now you only have you have two bookstores. Or you just have one bookstore.
Just one, yeah.
Just the one bookstore. And I
Hmm.
think recently I just saw you post on Instagram, you actually constructing the whole thing. So can you talk a little bit about like how did you decide the location? And it wasn't a bookstore before, right? You had to like make
No.
it.
Yeah, this was actually just a bay for parking semis in before. So it's like in the industrial area of the city. There's no other retail stores around, but yeah, we
Do
turned
you
it
have
into a
trouble?
bookstore.
Do you have trouble like getting people in the door then? Because it's not
Sometimes it's a little bit tricky. Our signage isn't the best. Like I would like to put some more signs down the street so people know better. But
okay.
it's working though. Once they find it once, and they're good.
Yeah, and I'll just show everyone just so you all know. This is Riley's Instagram, Forest Books Media. You can go and check him out there. Post content fairly regularly. I think this is the beginning process of the bookstore. Is that correct?
Yeah,
And
that's actually like so. This is our second time. This is our second location. We had to move because our other building was getting torn down.
oh,
So in January of this year, we moved to this location.
wow, that's that. So you, oh my god, what was the process like? Just completely moving out. I mean, that must have been.
That was a nightmare.
Oh god, how long did that take you?
I think it took us 3 weeks to get it all done, but I
God.
paid a guy to help me move all the boxes from one place to the next, just so that I didn't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
But lots of family helping, and it was a grind, like 9 in the morning till like midnight, just hammering down.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, everyone watching, you can tell this is like his full gig. You don't just own a bookstore as a side hustle. Like this is a full-time thing.
Yeah,
Do you have any employees or is it
I
just
have
you and your wife?
I have one employee, and then my wife helps as well.
Okay. And you do you have kids? I don't remember.
I have 2 kids, yep.
2 kids? So what happens with the kids when well, I guess, let's see, are you and your wife there at the same time? Or how's it
Often
work?
often we
Okay.
are, yeah, and we have, like, an area upstairs where we got, like, coloring stations,
Oh,
some,
for
like,
the kids?
old Game Boys for the kids, and
Oh, wow, that's
yeah,
cool. Man,
so
that's awesome.
they hang out here quite a bit.
Yeah. Okay, so technically at this location, it's been, well, 8 months then, right? Since you've
Yeah,
been at this one?
mhm.
Is there difference in traffic based upon the location, do you think? Or
A little bit,
okay,
yeah, so our other location had a little bit more of walk like, people were walking down the sidewalk in front of the building,
okay,
so we would get a lot of more of those people, I guess, coming in, like, they would just pop in. Now
okay.
it's more like you gotta wanna go to the bookstore to go to the bookstore.
Yeah. It's in the same city though
Yeah.
as yeah, same city, okay. Because 'Cause I'm sure you must have some loyal fans and customers. I think that's the unique thing about a physical brick and mortar is that you can have
Mhm.
loyal customers in your area versus Amazon, like, or eBay, it's like there's no one who's gonna be loyal really to you.
Yeah, yeah, we have customers that are popping in here there's some that'll come every week, there's some that'll come, like, every 2 or 3 days. It's pretty regular.
Do you guys offer any, like, let's say, special discounts or, like, do you entice people to come in with, like, a specific offer or, like, how are
But
most people finding you?
mm, that's a good question, but, like, I guess we're just on Google and a lot of word of mouth, like, we don't even advertise at all.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, I figure I mean, I don't know. I feel like the niche of books, people really, people really love just a local bookstore, right? Because again,
Yeah,
it's a place to hang out, place to talk to actual other people who like books and so
mhm.
forth. But you're not really having any trouble with traffic then, essentially. Like you
No,
haven't run into
it's been good, yeah.
okay, that's pretty cool. Um, what would you say is your percent of, let's say, online selling versus in-store selling, like brick and mortar, like the ratio?
We're probably at about 85 to 15 right now, so 85% bookstore.
Really? Okay. That's great.
We would like to shift that, but right now that's what it is.
How do you determine whether or not like a book goes on the shelf versus it goes to Amazon or eBay?
So when we started, it was like if it's an Amazon sellable book, it would go to Amazon every time.
Every time.
And
Okay.
then we started learning that, hey, for a good book, these people are willing to pay a few extra dollars. So if
Okay.
we're going to make $7 profit on Amazon, and normally we were selling books like $4, $3 a piece in our store, we're like, why don't
Okay.
we sell this one for the same profit that we would get on Amazon and see how it
Interesting.
goes? And turns out if it's a popular book, people will scoop it up. So
Okay. So you in some way make your pricing decision in store based upon what you would net on Amazon or eBay. I guess that makes sense, right? Because
yeah,
it's
pretty
like you have
similar.
2 options, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. And then what determines whether or not you sell it on eBay versus Amazon?
I guess that would be more so just like rare stuff, I guess, like
Okay.
first editions, really unique stuff like that that obviously doesn't have much data on Amazon. So then it would go to eBay.
Yeah, the interesting thing about what we do, I like Victor and I'm sure you're somewhat familiar, right? We do
Yeah.
online book arbitrage. We buy it on Amazon, sell it on Amazon. Is that we actually know very little about books. All we know is data, right? We know like, hey, this is how often this thing sells. This is what it normally sells for. Oh, okay, yeah, this is a great deal relative to historically what has happened, right? But we don't really have a bunch of book knowledge.
Yeah.
Do you think you need to have like? I mean, I'm assuming you probably have to have quite a bit of book knowledge to run a physical storefront.
I think, yeah, you definitely do, but you grow with it over time. Like at the start, I didn't really know anything, and then it'd be like, I'd ask my employee or I'd ask my wife, like, "You think people would read this book?" Like, I got no idea. So it's
Interesting.
just a learning curve.
Yeah, and then how are you sourcing right now? Like, where do you get your inventory? Is it just donations, or like, do you partner with organizations? Like, how do you get the majority of your books?
So we started off as a bulk operation. Actually, we were doing bulk books only. We
Oh
were
wow!
actually, yeah. So I was a trucker, and then I was buying pallets of books on the side. And
Whoa. Okay.
then we were having so much extra that I'm like, well, this is kind of crazy to just be recycling all this stuff. And so we transitioned into a physical store and we were doing both at the same time. So we were doing bulk books, and then I'd have a bell, and they'd ring the bell, and I'd come out running out to the front to sell them the books, kind of thing.
Wow, that's crazy. But you don't well, obviously, you're not trucking anymore, but
No,
this essentially replaced so once you brought in the physical storefront, that's when it replaced your trucking job. Is that right?
I was actually full time in this before. Like I quit my trucking job to do full time bulk books.
Okay, you did that first. Okay, and
Yeah,
then you transitioned from bulk books. Okay. But
yeah,
so right now so for the when you had the operation for the bulk books, did you have a warehouse or like how did you process the books? I
yeah.
mean, you
It was kind of cool. We had like a old building that was used as a storefront on the front side, but then the back side had a shop door and like another 1,000 square foot added on, so we could still back semis up to there. So we were kind of in a perfect building for that. It was just really old.
and that's why
So
they did it.
yeah, they
Oh,
demolished it. Like it was, we would take on water all the time, and
oh, okay.
it was pretty frustrating, but it was cheap.
Yeah, water is not good for books. That's
No,
for sure.
no,
But,
we
what
flooded
was
once.
if you don't mind me asking, like, how much did you have to pay for that space?
That space was 1,700 a month
Okay,
Canadian
okay, and how
for
many square feet?
2,500.
2,500 square feet. That's very sizable, I mean
Yeah,
and, I mean, obviously, you're based in Canada, and what city did you say you're based out of again?
we're an hour south of Winnipeg.
Okay, it's hour south, okay, and, is it are you in, like, a high cost of living area, or what would you
N-
consider medium cost or
No, it's pretty low cost.
low
Like
cost
we
living?
got
Okay.
12,000 people that live in my city, and then there's a couple small cities the same size in
Oof.
the area. So we're pretty
Wow,
small.
that's actually pretty I mean, I think that's pretty tiny. I'm like, I live in a city that has like 130,000. So
Yeah,
by comparison, our city is massive. And our
yeah.
city is not even considered like a huge city in California. But what's impressive to me is that you get that much foot traffic with only how many? You said 13,000?
Sorry, what do you mean?
I said, yeah, I said, can you hear me fine?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying, I think that, I mean, that's impressive that with a population of like
Oh, yeah,
13,000,
yeah.
that you
Yeah,
get
it
that
is
much foot
pretty
traffic.
crazy. I'm surprised we get as much traffic as we do, but we're also the only bookstore in the area,
I see.
so that
Even
helps.
in neighboring cities or
Even in
just
neighboring cities, the
oh,
closest bookstore would be an hour and a half away, like to Winnipeg.
okay. Wow, that's pretty cool. Um,
But you
so
were
it's
asking where we get our books from, and originally we
okay,
got them from our bulk stores. And then when we
okay.
moved to this shop, we downsized big time. We went from 2,500 square feet to 1,000 square feet.
Wow,
And
okay.
so we got rid of the pallets, we got rid of our pallet jack, all that stuff. And now we just partner with thrift stores and we buy books from customers when they bring them in.
Interesting. So, well, let's see. Wait, so you mean okay. So you I'm sure you have a lot of people who walk in and they decide to sell their books to you. And how does that work? Like, do you pay them per pound or you pay them by book? Like what is yeah, what's the process there?
So it really depends what it is. It's got to be like obviously something we can sell. So
Right.
they'll bring in like a box or two at a time, and then I'll go through it and I'll break it down for them, like what I can give them in cash or what I can give them in store credit,
Okay.
and then yeah, we'll go from there.
And normally store credit is more, right? Because you're trying to
Yeah,
incentivize them to stay and like spend the money there at the shop.
yeah, we're always
And then
pushing for store credit.
yeah. So let's say I mean I'm sure like in the bookstore really popular titles sell very well
Yeah.
because obviously they're popular for a reason a lot of people want them, right?
Hmm.
So those sort of let's say fiction paperbacks that are maybe really popular. I'm thinking like like Harry Potter or
Yeah.
like stuff like that. Like what would you like offer somebody for that and like what would you sell that for? And so
Harry Potter books, like just as long as they're not first edition or anything, but if just Harry Potter books, we usually sell them for like $5 or $6 a piece, and then
okay.
we pay 25% cash kind of thing, or like
Okay.
33% store credit.
So it's essentially just a percentage off of what you
Yeah.
anticipate you sell for. And you is this all just like the back of the napkin, or you actually have like a software that's like, okay, no, we've sold this for $5 before. We know we can offer 25% of that.
We do have a software, but I still am a little old school, so I
Okay.
got my notepad and I'm ripping papers and doing it that way as well. So I do a combination of the two.
Okay. And what's give us something cool. Like, what's the coolest thing that's ever come through? Like, let's say, what's the coolest book you've ever gotten that maybe monetarily isn't that expensive, but it's just like cool.
Mm,
Maybe, and then what's something that like monetarily was like crazy?
that's pretty tricky to think of. Trying to think of what's come through lately, but oh, so just last week actually, like obviously you know who Sarah J. Moss is, right?
Yep.
So somebody brought in a hardcover, like brand new condition, never read, full box set from the out of print one. So it's worth like
Whoa,
$1,000.
that's
And it,
crazy.
yeah, customer brought that in here.
And they knew what they had, or
They did not know what it was worth. No.
okay. And then so I feel like that's the tricky part about doing deals with people. Like even let's say if you don't have a physical storefront, but you're meeting somebody at like Facebook Marketplace, it's like the tricky thing is like to be ethical, you don't want to rip somebody off. But at the end of the day, the
Mhm.
goal is to make money, right? It's like, yeah, how would you deal with that situation? Someone's got like something that's super expensive. You still just say this is what it's worth and we'll pay this percent.
Yeah, I try to be very honest with our customers and be really upfront with them if I find something that's worth a lot of money. So with this customer, like it's worth quite a bit, but to like pay them cash for it, like that's kind of a lot of money to just dish out with one customer. So
Right.
what we offered them was like, we'll just do a consignment sale. Once it sells, then we'll pay
Nice.
you a percentage.
Okay. Yeah, that actually seems the best way to go with consignment, especially if you have the space to store it.
Hmm.
And is your goal there to sell it online, or are you gonna
That
sell that
that set is on eBay. Yeah.
that's on eBay? Okay. And then, yeah, anything else that has come through that's been cool? Maybe it doesn't necessarily matter
Mm.
the monetary value, but because I don't know, are you like a history person, or are you like a book geek, or are you just kind of like in the business of selling books?
I'm just in the business, man.
Okay.
I read like 2 books a year if I'm lucky,
Okay.
but
Right.
like I had some pretty cool like Dungeons and Dragons type stuff
Okay.
come through, and like all like sealed in box stuff, and
Right.
like that stuff was worth a lot of money, and it sold so fast. So that was a really sweet flip. But and we've had some unique first editions come through, but I'm just trying to think if we got this one from our pallets or if we got it from a customer. But we had a book, we sold it on eBay for almost $2,000.
Oh.
I don't remember what it was called though. I should know this, but it was a weird title.
Yeah, it's funny how at the end of the day, there's just so many books that are out there, and
Hmm.
you even no matter how good your knowledge is, it is still very hard to know every single book. There's just millions
Oh
of
yeah,
books, right? But I'm sure you get surprised often. Like even me, like I'll go to a garage sale or I'll be at a thrift store. I'm like, dude, this book looks like it's got to be worth something, and it's worthless. And
yeah,
then you see books where you're like, how is that $100? That's like a piece of junk. But you know, at the end of the
yeah,
day, the market markets, right? So
yeah, for sure.
that's pretty cool. Let's talk about some of your other media. So, what would you say is the in the store for selling? What would you say is like the mix between the books and the DVDs and the CDs and the video games, stuff like that?
What's the mix?
Yeah, like what would you? Yeah.
We probably have a pretty even ratio of books to media items. Maybe it's a little bit more on the media,
Okay.
but it's
Interesting.
pretty even.
So I'm sure the revenue probably kind of matches that then. So you probably do a significant percent then in books or in video games, DVDs, stuff like that, right?
Yeah, it definitely makes up about half our sales or a little more.
Okay. I'm
But it,
curious. Yeah,
sorry,
go for it. No, go
I
for
was
it.
gonna say it takes up way less space though, because like CDs and DVDs, like they take up way less space than hardcover books and stuff. So it's
Yeah,
kind of
and
cool.
then yeah, I mean, and way lighter. I mean, there's a lot of pros to other media, right?
Yeah.
Besides books, but yeah, I'm curious. Right now, Pokemon is really big. Do you guys like carry trading card games at all, or is that not?
We don't dabble in the Pokemon world.
Yeah.
There's another card dealer store in Wink in our little city. So I leave the Pokemon to him. We have a relationship. So I'm like,
Oh,
you do the Pokemon, I'll do the books and yeah, the media stuff. So
okay, that's pretty cool. Um, yeah. Okay, so let's say, well, yeah. What? So I think a lot of people would want to know, like, what are the hard costs of opening a storefront? Because what's interesting, Riley, is like when people find Victor and I, we talk about online book arbitrage, they think there's all these, there's just so many expenses to start this business. And I'm like, I mean, you have an Amazon account, you have Keepa, you have Bookmine. I'm like, you got to reprice. That's about it. Like, that's really not that much. But until someone understands like brick and mortar, like, what are the hard costs to start this?
Oh, that's that's rough. Brick and mortar is expensive for sure. Like our costs per month are definitely way higher than what yours would be for
Uh,
sure. So our margins are definitely different, but yeah, like rent, employees, like even heating the place, cooling the place, like it all adds up.
yeah, especially in Canada, historically, is the weather. I mean, I'm in sunny, Southern California where it
Yeah.
rains a few times a year and it's almost always between 70 and 80. So, yeah, but I'm sure there you've got to. I mean, what's the weather like year round? You've got to heat it basically in the winter, and
Well, 6 months of the year, it's right around the -20 to -30 degrees Celsius.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it's
below
pretty cold.
freezing. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. I mean, I'll always just kind of wondered how bookstores make it in such harsh weather because literally the book can't be outside for any experience, any extended period of time, or else it's just done. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? With the moisture and stuff. But
Yeah, I've had it happen where I have books in my car and I'll leave them in the car too long and then the pages all start curling because they're frozen.
oh man, that's rough.
Yeah.
So you get what would you say between a thrift store and people walking in? Like, what's the mix of like the flow of inventory in? Would you say it's like 80% comes from the thrift store, 20% walk in, or what's the ratio there?
It's probably 50-50.
That's pretty good.
Pretty
Okay.
close, yeah.
And then would you say you have better margins on the walk-ins or a better margin on like the partnering with the thrift stores?
Partnering with the thrift stores is usually better,
Interesting. Okay.
but yeah, it depends on the thrift store too. Like we have relationships with multiple thrift stores, so we have like different deals set up with each thrift store, whatever works for them, kind of thing.
And
But
how did you even get that partnership? You literally just
mm,
like walk in and ask the manager or like you call somebody? How does that even work?
just building relationships, just walking in the back and finding out who's in charge and seeing if I can scratch their back and they can scratch my back.
So what is it that is there anything that you do for them other than buy their books? Cause I guess from their perspective, is it like you're taking their duds or like what is their perspective as to why? Like, obviously, you're giving them money, right? And they like that, but is there what other service I guess are you providing that they're, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So with a lot of the thrift stores, we're offering them to increase their revenue. So I say I can sell this for more than you can sell it for. So why don't I sell it on your behalf? And then we split the earnings once it's sold.
So it's consignment essentially with thrift stores,
Some
or
of them, yes.
okay,
Some of them have agreements with me where it's just a straight cost per unit, and then like
okay.
yeah, media books kind of thing. But
So essentially, you have a different contract or business structure for every thrift store.
yeah, hmm
It's pretty interesting. Yeah, I mean, obviously, not needing start like I mean, if you have a contract for consignment, that's it doesn't require you to pay anything, but you also have to
hmm
store the inventory, right?
yeah.
And then do they also require that you take everything then? Or how does it work between like are you cherry picking them essentially or like are you just taking all their bulk?
So with the one thrift store I work with, they'll put aside the books that they don't want to sell in their store, or
Okay.
books where they've just all of a sudden one week they have too much books. They'll put them aside. They'll put my name on each box, and then I'll go through them. I'll take the ones I want, and then I'll put them in their recycling bin for them. And
Okay.
then yeah, we do it that way.
That's cool.
hmm
In the store, what would you say is do you have anything in the store that's like gold, like paper gold, like anything that's like as soon as you see, okay, this is what we need more of. Like this is always
hmm
what we need to replenish.
Well, it's that young adult popular fiction stuff always, like the Harry
Always good.
Potters, Lord of the Rings, like that stuff just sells so
Oh,
fast. Divergent, Hunger
okay.
Games,
Hunger
all that
Games,
kind
yeah,
of
yeah,
stuff.
all that stuff. Yeah, and then I'm sure you have a probably have a pretty good mix or a diverse like group of people, especially age. I'm assuming because I'm assuming you also
hmm
have like an older population, right? So
We do, yeah.
so what is it that they're sort of looking for?
That's the tricky thing is like, because there is a lot of older people that come in here, like seniors and stuff, and so they're looking for books that most other people aren't interested in.
Yeah.
So it can be tough. Like, do we stock these books for them, or do we want to
Yeah.
focus on the younger crowd or whatever? But yeah, it's
Are
a
you
really big
so
mix.
yeah, do you do any, like, wholesale deals with not thrift stores, but, like, literally new copies from somewhere?
Mm.
Maybe even if they're, like, discounted or something.
Right now, we don't,
Okay.
but I would definitely be open to something like that in the future.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's interesting again, for everyone who's watching is that Riley again owns a I mean, obviously, if you've been here for an extended period of time, he owns a physical storefront. So there's unique opportunities that don't exist for, let's say, me, who does online book arbitrage.
Mhm.
But that's not to say that it's all pros. There's also tons of cons about it, right?
Yeah.
Well, at least that from my perspective, like you do a lot of work, right? So what is the work? What does the hours look like on a day to day basis?
Well, right now, I'm probably putting in 50 hours a week kind of thing.
Okay,
But yeah, mostly I'm just sitting at my desk and I'm processing the inventory, and then my employees are stocking it in the store.
stalking. Yeah, I mean, I feel like one of the hard parts would be like, how do you? So do you have, let's say, all of the books categorized like digitally or in a way so that okay, this has been sitting here for like a year. We need to get rid of it. Like, how do you guys
Mhm.
decide that's really dead inventory? We need to get out of here.
Yeah, we have a really cool software that's designed specifically for bookstores. So I can go in and I can
Mhm.
see every bit of information I want. I can see what date we listed it for, who listed it, for what price, all that stuff is all tracked. So if I want to go remove dead stock, I can do it very easily.
And I'm assuming, does that system also give you historical data? Like, you sold this 7 times, and this is
Yeah.
what you sold it for. Okay.
hmm The
I
only the
mean,
only tricky thing with that is like some books have different barcodes, like different ISBN numbers, even though it's really the same book,
yeah,
like different prints and stuff.
yeah.
So sometimes they'll say you sold this book twice, but we also sold that book, but just a different print, like 3 times. So
So it's hard to match up, like, this book, which is a different print run, different cover art, same thing, essentially.
yeah,
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, so you said like 50, you said 50-ish hours a week. Your wife is also working with you part-time, right? And
yeah,
then
she does about maybe 10 hours a week.
anyway, does she have another job as well, or is this
No,
essentially supporting the whole family?
she helps with the family. Yeah,
Helps with the family. Yeah,
which
I
is a
mean,
big job.
obviously taking care of kids is a whole job of it in itself.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And how old are your kids?
My oldest is 7, and my youngest is 5.
I'm sure there's a lot of people thinking like, "Oh, wow, they're getting to the age where they could definitely move some boxes around. They could definitely get their Roth IRA started." Have you ever thought of like, I wouldn't say using them, but like strategically, like, having them help out in the business, and then you could start a college fund or something. I don't
Mm. Haven't done too much of that yet. There's
know.
there's sometimes they're a little lazy, but we're
Okay.
working on it.
Yeah, working on. Yeah, man. Let's see. Do you have any? Okay, so from the perspective of running a brick and mortar store, and also knowing what it takes to sell online, right? So what I do, what most people do,
Mhm.
they go to thrift stores, they get books that way, they send them to Amazon or eBay, right? But through the lens of owning a bookstore, do you have any like recommendations or I guess like unique ideas or opportunities for those people that you think that they could be doing that they're not doing to make more money with book selling? Does that make sense?
For the people that are just scanning the books in the thrift
Yeah.
stores and selling them on Amazon,
Yeah.
well, I think there's a lot of popular books that get donated to thrift stores and that an Amazon seller would pass up
Yeah.
because usually the popular stuff is pretty low price.
Okay.
So I don't know, like if you're scanning books and you see an E score of like an E score on Scoutly or Scout IQ of like 180, so it's maxed out and it sells every day. I want that book and I'm gonna sell it for $5 or $6, but you don't want to send it into Amazon. So if you bring it to me, I'd probably pay you twice what you paid at the thrift store.
That seems like a pretty good model to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's great because I don't know necessarily what thrift store prices are these days, but I'm assuming, especially if you go to library sales, thrift store, it's probably like on the low end, well under a dollar, on the high end, maybe a couple bucks. But
Mhm.
so let's say I'm in your area, I find Harry Potter, I don't know, for $1.99. You tell me I could go like it's I don't know, the Sorcerer's Stone, the first book, I could go flip it to you for like a couple bucks,
Possibly.
possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyone who's listening, I would say the take home here is that if you have a bookstore in your area, it seems I would assume that process is not unique to you. Like I'm sure most bookstores actually have a buyback option like that, right? So
Yeah.
this probably applies anywhere. I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, I'm sure you could find the good ones and get some store credit at your local bookstores to find
Right.
the books that you actually want or whatever.
Are you guys reseller friendly? So if somebody who walks in and starts scanning, do you care? Or
Oh, I wouldn't care, but I've never had that happen before.
okay.
I've had actually I had one guy once, and then me and him just chatted for a long time and kind of worked with each other and kind of told him, yeah, you're not going to find too much stuff to sell online here, but you're welcome to just keep scanning anyways.
What is like the highest priced books you have for sale there, like in your store?
Probably like $10 to $15 would be our max, but
So
that's
you are pretty low then in terms of
yeah,
yeah, there's
we're
nothing
pretty
crazy.
low.
Because what my thought would be, since you obviously offer more for store credit versus paying cash, because there's an incentive for you to keep the money in the business, right? Rather than just
Mhm.
throw the cash out to somebody.
Yeah.
What I'm thinking, what gets my wheels spinning is as a hustler is like, yeah, getting all these really popular books that I know Riley already wants, and then flipping them all to you for store credit, and then buying your more expensive books and then flipping those.
Mm.
But I guess it's kind of hard because you don't necessarily have those more expensive books.
Yeah, that'd be tricky. Like, I guess you could do that, but I think your margins would be pretty low. So, I don't know, I guess it could work, but
Yeah,
it'd be a
because
lot. It'd be a lot of work to make a few dollars, kind of thing.
yeah, could be. Maybe, but you also have video games for sale, right? Video games,
Yeah,
and then what kind of video games are you selling? Just whatever comes in, right? Essentially.
yeah, whatever comes in. We got old systems, new systems, and all the games that go with them.
And then I'm assuming it's just a similar, like you just pay a percentage, right, of whatever you think you're gonna sell it for.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I would
exactly.
assume the video games are probably a lot more liquid, right?
They do sell for higher price, and then they move well too. So yeah, I think that's what you're getting at.
Yeah. Yeah, we have somebody in the chat saying, Joji, this isn't a question for you. He just asked, what can I say about my new repricer? Yeah, so I'm using Aura, and so far I'm really enjoying it. I think it's a lot easier to use, and I'm just having good results with it. So overall, I'm very excited and very happy with it. So
Nice.
um yeah, but it's a good question because for you, let's say, yeah, what exactly is your pricing structure? Because I'm assuming it's probably hard to be very granular. Every book is like a different price. Like I'm assuming you have genres or
Mhm.
categories, and it's like this category is $3, this category is $4. Can you talk about like what the pricing structure of those books looks like in your store?
Okay. Yeah, so we're pretty like across the board. We have a flat line, like whether it's soft cover or hardcover. If it's a generic novel or a generic whatever biography, it's $4 is the starting price. If
Okay,
it's popular and the price is higher online, then the price will go up from there. But $4 would be the base price. For
right, and then you
pocketbooks, it'd be $3.
$3, and then anything. So like, let's say somebody brings in a book that's on Amazon worth $50, that just automatically goes to Amazon.
Probably, unless I think somebody's gonna be willing to pay that in our store, then I might keep it aside for that. But most likely, that's going to Amazon.
I guess the trickiest part is a lot of the books that have value are obviously the non-popular books, right? Meaning there's
Hmm.
not tons of copies available. So I would assume the hard part is connecting the buyer with the book, which is obviously why you sell on Amazon because you could reach every customer in the United States, right? Which is why it's so much easier to sell it. But yeah, it makes sense why it'd probably be hard to sell books like that that are more
Yes.
expensive.
Sometimes we give them a chance in our store. Like we'll let them sit in the store for a month or two, and if they still haven't moved, then we'll send them to Amazon. Then
Yeah. And same thing with textbooks, right? You probably have no business selling textbooks there. So they probably just go straight
no,
to Amazon, right?
straight to Amazon or
But
eBay. Yeah,
but I'm assuming you still offer for textbooks, right? Because of the fact that you can
we
sell them
do.
on
Yeah.
Amazon.
Hmm.
Yeah. We have Victor in the house going, "What's up, Riley?" And he says, "My question is, do you buy and sell seasonal books like Christmas books?"
Well, when customers bring in Christmas books, I'm still paying them just as if I'd be buying other stuff, and then I'll set them aside, and then obviously they'll
Gotcha.
go up in price, and we'll sell them at Christmas time.
Right, but
So
still in store, right? You're not selling any of those online?
we will still sell them online as well. Yeah, we got like boxes of them set aside, and then we'll go through them again in November or whatever, and see which ones we can sell online and which ones we can sell in the store.
Yeah, because I mean, Victor and I, we have a couple of lists of Victor and I made 2 lists together of 250, so we have, like, 500 Christmas books that
Okay.
are worth buying on Amazon, reselling on Amazon for a profit.
Yeah.
And a lot of those are also so I think the thing most people would just assume the book is about Christmas, but a lot of books that are not necessarily about Christmas are just great Christmas books, and so they do well during Christmas as, like, gifts and stuff, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah, that makes
So
sense.
so for example, there's this one book that's awesome, it's called, like, the 500 greatest holes in golf, for example. It's not about Christmas, but it does really well during Christmas because I'm
Okay.
assuming
Yeah.
I'm assuming a lot of women, like, daughters or wives are like, "Oh, this is a great gift for the husband," or something like that.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah. So you are actually, like, stockpiling Christmas books
We
and,
do.
uh,
Yeah.
and then you obviously probably bring them out on the floor in the store and then also sell them
Yeah.
online, which is cool. Um, let's see what else we got here. Overall, would you say you're happier with the physical storefront and books versus, like, trucking? Because I mean, the cool thing about being I don't know if you were an employee or if you own your own trucks or anything like that, but obviously there's a huge difference between being an employee versus being an entrepreneur, like, way
Mhm.
different, right? So, what would you say, your outlook on, I guess, the future is? Because obviously you're doing this now, not trucking, you know?
Yeah, that's tough. I've gone back like just for like a month or two at a time to go hop in a truck and just like in the slow season to just do a little bit of trucking. And
Okay.
even then I feel trapped in that semi and I just want to get out. So
Yeah.
I don't think I could go back to working for someone else.
Yeah. I would agree. I mean, I was a high school teacher for 7 years, and then now that I'm not doing that anymore, I'm like, "Wow, this is nice where Monday isn't automatically just always gotta be here. Tuesday always gotta be here." You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
cool that it's almost, like, refreshing, like, every hour of the day. Like, even though you are choosing to work and do that, but you get to choose to do that, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Better.
especially for me, I have a lot of other things going on the side. Like in my bio on the webs on Books and Beyond, it said like I do a floor hockey league and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I need to like communicate and coordinate things. And if I need to take people out for coffee, so I can
Okay.
leave work at lunch or at 10 in the morning and go for coffee and come back and it's nobody's on my case about it, you know?
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, that's the great thing about being an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm. It is
And
cool.
yeah, I'm glad that you actually did say that as well because I probably did a poor job of really talking much about it. But yeah, so again, Riley was an attendee last year at Books and Beyond 2024. Books and Beyond is coming back to Las Vegas October 10th through 12th. Again, it's just going to be an incredible time. And yeah, Riley's going to be, a panel speaker, and you can actually, see him down here. Where is he at? Let's see. There he is right there. And so you can learn a little bit more about him there as well. But yeah, it's just going to be a great time to hang out and to network. And again, it's, if you want other people, if you know, want to know what other people's experience was, feel free to, watch some of those other testimonials. And it's again just going to be an awesome time to kind of chat and hang out with other booksellers because you don't really get that opportunity. At least I don't have that opportunity here. Are there a lot of booksellers where you're at that you're able to network with, or
No, not really.
yeah, no. Really. So make sure you guys grab tickets if you guys are interested. It's only 52 days away, and so the cool thing is that we got general admission, and then we also have a couple of after parties as well. And again, I would say the after parties are really where most of the networking is done because again, we do have basically a full schedule, both conference days with speakers lined up, panels. So there's tons of value there. But
Hmm.
I don't know, Riley, I would say probably more values even in the after parties, right? Getting to talk to people.
Yeah, the after parties and those breakout sessions are both really good.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the after parties.
Yeah. And again, the cool thing is, let's see, we will have a couple of bulk booksellers there again. And I think though, unless there's some attendees that are coming that own a physical storefront, I'm pretty sure you're the only one, definitely only speaker there.
Okay.
Actually, outside of David Chung. David Chung also has a physical storefront,
Right.
but you two are the only two that have that physical storefront. But again, it's really unique. Like I've even tried to YouTube it and try to find other booksellers that own bookstores that are on YouTube, and there are
Mhm.
a couple, but I would think it'd be easier to find people who are like documenting it, but they're really not. It's like it's
Yeah.
really hard to find these people,
I
which
guess we
is
just like to keep quiet in our little bookstores.
I guess it's just that there's so much work to be done. You guys are just making so
It's
much
true.
profit. You just don't want to tell the world how much money you guys are making, right?
No, I don't think that's it, but it is a grind for sure.
Yeah. Do you guys have any plans for, let's say, another location, or what would need to happen for you to consider that?
No, I don't think so. I think we're pretty happy here, and in the building we're in, there's like a bunch of shops in a row, and so if we want to expand, we can just add on another shop next to us and open up the wall. So we got
Yeah.
that option in the future.
Yeah. I think the cool thing is you guys are already have, I wouldn't say obviously you don't have max capacity in terms of traffic coming through, but without really doing it seems like much other than having like a social media presence, like no advertisement or no
Mhm.
anything else like that, you're getting a lot of people in, right? So
Yeah.
um yeah, that's cool that yeah, there's just people who I think at the end of the day, there's just people who want to touch the books before they buy it, right? They just want to walk
Yeah.
into a store. And I think the cool thing about you as well is that as a physical store, you can offer the, really popular fiction paperback or romance novel for $5.
Hmm.
And on Amazon, it's like $7. So they
Yeah.
actually it is a deal if you think about it. You know
Yeah,
what I
for
mean?
sure.
Right? As a customer. Yeah. So that's really cool. Um, let's see. My kind of takeaway from this is that really cool that you own a physical storefront. I know for me, I'm like, wow, this is a ton of work, but
It
obviously you're
is.
making it happen. You're killing it, dude.
Thank
So
you.
overall, I'm just really excited to again hang out and yeah, just network. And I'm interested to
Mhm.
see now people knowing a little bit more about you, obviously, because you're more highlighted versus before you were just an attendee. And
Mhm.
I didn't know about your bookstore or really about you until I met you there, right? But
Yeah.
I think it's cool because really the goal of all these conferences is opportunity and what relationships can help bring to you and drive your business forward. So I'm kind of excited to see what kind
Mhm.
of flourishes for you there. And
Yeah.
yeah, and also for anyone else that's coming, I mean, if you want access to somebody who owns a physical storefront, I mean, there's gonna be two people there. I'm gonna assume that it's probably not the most popular thing, because again, it's not easy, right? I mean, let's
Oh,
be
you're right.
honest, it's not easy to do this, right? So
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, let's see if we got any more. You guys, if anyone else has any more questions or you guys have anything else to say to Riley, definitely put them down below. I'm gonna go ahead and also link in the chat Books and Beyond if anyone is interested in kind of looking at the site more. If you guys want to buy tickets, but it is going down October 10th to 12th in Las Vegas. It's gonna be a good time, and your wife is coming.
Yep, she is.
Yeah,
She's
that's cool.
excited. She's a little
Excited.
nervous too.
Did she come last year?
No, she
Oh,
didn't.
it's just you. It's just a solo trip, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was
that's so
that was an interesting experience because I missed my flight to get to Vegas, and
cool.
it
Oh
was
no.
it was a hassle. I
So
barely made it there, and
did you make it on? So to give people context, basically Friday everyone flies in. The conference officially starts Saturday, even though there is like a networking event on Friday. But when did you get in?
I think I got in Friday, like a couple hours before the conference, but I had to drive an hour and a half to get to the airport, and I
Oh,
and I didn't make it on time because I forgot my passport at home.
oh
Because
no.
I'm so used to flying like just within Canada that I don't normally fly to the States. So
Oh,
forgot my passport, ripped back home, drove back to the city as fast as I could. Luckily I didn't get caught, but I was basically 10 minutes late and they're like, "No, you can't come." So
oh man.
I had to book a hotel, and then I booked the where I messed up though. I booked the hotel, I stayed a night in Winnipeg, and then I got there and I got the flight and all that, but I only booked a direct flight. And
Okay.
I thought because I had booked a round trip initially that I would still have that return option.
Oh.
So I only booked a direct flight to Vegas. So when I was in Vegas, I went to the airport in the morning on Monday morning, and they're like, "Oh, sorry, you don't even have a flight booked."
Oh my gosh, that's
Yeah, it
okay.
was
Well, let's hope it's smoother this time.
yeah, much
Well,
smoother. We'll be prepared. But
uh,
the lady in Vegas though, she pulled some strings and she got me a free flight actually.
whoa. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
I was
that's the
impressed.
saving grace. That's the
Yeah,
saving grace at the end of the day.
I
Wow.
asked her if I could take a picture with her and she's like, "No, this is strictly under the table."
Yeah. Wow. We got a nice question in the chat. What is your speech mainly going to focus on, or like,
Um,
what's your like, what is it that you plan to sort of highlight? I guess that makes sense.
I guess my big thing would be relationships, building relationships in the community, building relationships with customers. And I think that's been the most beneficial to us in our business.
Yeah. I mean, the cool thing is that most people probably okay. So when you look at all booksellers, very few booksellers own physical storefronts, right? Because it's a lot of work. It is
Mhm,
commitment. It's not easy. I mean, obviously you can do it profitably, but um, the building relationships in the local community applies, right? Like if you're somebody who's doing thrifting or you're doing, book pickups, free book pickups in your local community, there's again tons of value in having the skill to basically be able to go out and network with people and build relationships, right? Because
mhm.
at the end of the day, Avery does a good job of saying this, and it's true for anyone who's a good bookseller. You want the books to come first to you before it goes to anyone else. Because if it
Yeah,
goes to anyone else, there's a chance of it being filtered, meaning like the good stuff's taken out, cherry picked, right?
yeah, exactly.
So getting the books to come to you first is ideally, what makes the biggest difference. So
And it's rewarding too to be able to see the smile on someone's face and to be able to have that relationship with the customers too.
yeah.
It's really rewarding.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, like, let me look at my Amazon page right now. How many books have I sold today? Let's see.
Probably more than me on Amazon.
But then again, I'm only Amazon, right? So I'm
Yeah,
nothing else. So let's see. So I've sold 42 books today.
okay. That's solid.
No idea who these people are,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, I guess that's kind of the pro is that you know, that you don't necessarily have to deal with that. The con being like, yeah, I don't get to see the smiling face. I don't get to like actually interact with
Mhm.
people in my community, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. So,
Mhm.
um, yeah, I just want to say again, Riley, thanks so much for coming on. Really looking forward to have you there in Las Vegas. Again, gonna be a panel speaker, and anyone out there who wants to have a physical storefront, also want to learn about how to juggle both, maybe have the storefront, the physical
Mhm.
storefront, and selling online, you got the man right here in front of you. So, again, just thanks so much for coming on, and again, we'll see you at Books and Beyond. Any last words of encouragement or any sort of advice to anyone, or just you want to pump up Books and Beyond? Anything else you want to say?
I guess I would say to just like don't be afraid to talk to people. Like even if you're in those thrift stores, talk to people, build those relationships.
Yeah,
Talk to the old lady. She'll probably love you. Just be
yeah,
nice to her. But
yeah.
yeah, Books and Beyond is super awesome. So I'm really excited about that and hopefully we get a lot of attendees too.
Absolutely. So you heard it here. Link down below in the description. You can grab your tickets October 10th through 12th, heading in Las Vegas, Nevada. Again, Riley's going to be there. A bunch of other speakers going to be there as well. It's going to be a great time. And again, thanks for joining us, Riley. And thanks everyone else who was here in the chat. Appreciate the comments. And we'll see you
Awesome.
guys. We'll see you at Books and Beyond, right? See
Yeah,
you
you
later.
bet.
All right.
See ya.
See you guys.